Who are the people we need to kick out of society? Let's find out. Starting with number 6, coffee versus hammer. Bikini-clad barista Emma Lee smashed an angry customer's windshield with a hammer after he threw iced coffee at her. Sounds like someone should switch to decaf. We'll let you decide who. Lee, owner of A Taste of Heaven Espresso, a drive-thru coffee stand in South Seattle, was working alone one morning when an unnamed customer approached the drive-thru window to throw iced coffee at her. The confrontation began when the customer complained that his 32-ounce coffee and 24-ounce water cost roughly $22, which in fairness is a bit steep. The dumb thing, though, is that the guy was a regular and had complained about the store's prices before. He insisted that he didn't know how much it would cost or that he was being scammed, despite Lee reminding him that the prices were listed. The 23-year-old business owner then said she felt threatened after the man also screamed, spat, and attempted to pry open the drive-thru window. He then got out of his vehicle to throw the iced coffee at her, so in response, Lee pulled out a hammer and smashed his windshield. Lee filed misdemeanor charges against the customer, and the man threatened to take her to small claims court over the cost of his windshield. Lee said she wasn't worried about being brought in front of a judge and explained that she shouldn't be treated differently just because she served coffee while wearing a skimpy outfit. And she's 100% right. But that doesn't always mean that she's not going to be treated differently anyway, unfortunately. She shared surveillance footage of the incident on her Instagram and received a mixed response. Some people praised her for standing up for herself, while others accused her of committing a felony against an angry customer, which, if you've worked with the public, you know this sort of thing happens from time to time. So what do you think? Who was in the wrong here? While the guy's behavior is in no way justifiable, was Lee right for smashing this guy's windshield? Or are they both wrong? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. At the end of the day, it sounds like they both needed to espresso their anger differently. Number 5. Growth is never guaranteed. In 2018, a self-described comedian, actor, and entertainer, Dorian G. Thomas, set off fireworks inside a Florida Dollar Tree store. It sounds like Thomas is the only one who uses those words to describe him, however. Thomas, known as DoGang3X, or maybe just 3X on Instagram, posted pranks on his social media to get likes. On July 4th, 2018, he went into a store with an accomplice and set off some fireworks while the accomplice videoed the entire shebang. After setting off the store's fire alarms, Thomas and his accomplice fled the scene in a black Honda Accord. What a hilarious prank, right? Of course, they were long gone by the time Miami-Dade rescue crews arrived at the scene to extinguish the fireworks. But Thomas's super hilarious prank didn't end there. He then taunted the police on Instagram, inviting them to play hide and seek while they tried to find him, and said he had been hiding from law enforcement since he was 12. What a comedian. The fireworks incident was far from the first prank he videoed. Thomas had posted videos before of himself frantically running into a nail salon and claiming a man dressed up as Mickey Mouse had gone after him. Then he uploaded another clip where he ran through Miami while someone in a Mickey Mouse costume chased him. Thomas insisted his antics were harmless and he would never put another person in danger. But he obviously means other than when he was setting things on fire inside a store. Like, his pranks are harmless when he's not actually causing property damage and putting people's lives in danger. A month after the Dollar Tree incident, law enforcement arrested him in Los Angeles on charges of first-degree arson and criminal mischief. Judging by his social media activity in 2024, the self-proclaimed prankster and comedian appears to have shown that he still doesn't have a clear idea of what the word prank actually means. Number 4. Back for seconds. Amber Jolly, the manager of Gramercy Boutique in Santa Monica, California, recorded herself confronting an alleged thief who was walking out of her store with stolen merchandise. Not the best idea to chase thieves down since you don't know who these people are or what else they're carrying, but it's hard not to do something when someone is stealing from you, right? With retail theft at an all-time high in California, Jolly was already on high alert when she noticed an unnamed young woman leaving her store, possibly with stolen merchandise in her bag. The video of the incident jumped right in, with Jolly already screaming and trying to rip the alleged thief's tote bag out of her arms. Yelling that the woman had taken a jacket from her store, Jolly ignored the woman's accusations that what Jolly was doing was illegal. Still screaming that the young woman had a jacket from her store, Jolly grabbed the woman's wrist, refusing to let her leave. Eventually, the woman dug into her bag and produced an allegedly stolen light blue jacket, which she dropped on the ground. Jolly was certain the alleged thief still had more merchandise in her bag and demanded that that she produce the rest of the stuff she took. So the woman produced a light green jacket that may have also been stolen while lecturing Jolly about not being allowed to touch her. We're saying allegedly here because it's a he said, she said situation, but it seems pretty clear what was going on, and this lady was going to lecture someone else about breaking the law. Jolly was still pretty sure that there was more stuff from her store in the woman's bag and blocked her from leaving. Jolly demanded to look in the woman's bag to see, but the accused criminal blocked her, saying again that it was illegal for her to do so, which is correct, but it's pretty guilty behavior to not just open the bag and clear up any misunderstandings, right? Jolly, sharing the same opinion, refused to back down. After the woman eventually showed the contents of her purse, Jolly yelled at her to never show her face there again and shoved her. The video ended with the young woman walking away from Jolly. Jolly finally called the police, who then told her to contact her insurance company. She told news outlets that she confronted the woman out of concern for her community and for the alleged thief, who she claimed to be worried about. Number 3. The Heartless Theft. An unidentified thief allegedly stole a special tricycle from a 7-year-old girl with a rare neurological disorder. Yeah, we're all pretty universally disgusted, right? The little girl had used the tricycle to get around her neighborhood and visit nearby parks until security camera footage caught a man stealing it from her family's porch. Her mom, Elizabeth Booth, was understandably upset and spoke out against the thief for taking a special needs child's adaptive tricycle. Booth's daughter, Allie, suffers from a disease that causes epilepsy, dyskinesia, developmental delay, and speech and motor issues. She was also nonverbal and diagnosed with autism. Since Allie had weak lower extremities, she worked closely with physical therapists to help build muscle tone in her legs. The bike was a perfect tool for strengthening Allie's legs so she could improve her running. But these types of bikes are also fairly expensive. Booth purchased her particular bike for $1,700 3 years before the incident and couldn't afford to buy a second one. The security camera footage showed a dark van passing their house and then parking at the corner of the street. A man got out and headed to the family's driveway before grabbing the bike and walking away with it. He threw it into his van and drove off. Booth filed a police report, but the police struggled to identify the man, and as of July 2024, no arrests had been made. There's just so many things upsetting about this story. Porch pirates are already annoying enough as it is, so that's already a strike. But then this dude was straight up stealing something that's obviously for a kid, a special needs kid. Number 2. The Fast and Entitled. Speedy Joe Mullins, a nickname we gave him, the chairman of the Flagler County Commission in Flagler County, Florida, thought his status would get him out of a speeding ticket. Joe Mullins was wrong. In June 2022, Mullins sped past troopers in his red Ferrari, driving over 90 miles an hour. It took 2 patrol cars with their sirens blaring to finally pull him over, and unfortunately for Mullins, a patrol dash cam captured their entire exchange. The trooper told Mullins that he was driving 22 miles per hour over the speed limit and that he would usually just give him a warning, but the chairman had already received a written warning. Speedy Joe must have places to be, you know? Mullins responded that he ran the county and that he knew how everything worked. He must have been sleeping when they explained the part about following the law, though. The exchange got so heated that the troopers actually threatened Mullins with jail if he stepped out of his car. The troopers completed the paperwork and went on to explain the ticket to him when he berated them for the way they pulled him over, claiming that it was unsafe. One of the troopers responded by asking Mullins if he thought the speed at which he was driving was safe. When the troopers' job was done, they waited for Mullins to leave, but he refused. One of the troopers warned him that he would be committing another violation if he didn't get on his way. The 2 men then told Mullins that everything was being videoed, to which Mullins responded that it meant that the troopers' driving was being filmed too. However, despite accusing them of conducting themselves in a dangerous manner, the footage didn't show the troopers acting recklessly. After the confrontation, Mullins sent pleas to a Seminole County judge, which he clearly cut and pasted from an almost identical letter he wrote to a Flagler County judge, so much so that he forgot to replace the names of the roads. He pleaded for leniency to avoid points on his license and promised never to speed again. Despite repeatedly claiming that he respected law enforcement, ethics, and the law, his attitude during a traffic stop told a different story, especially when he attempted to use his title to get out of trouble. Mullins ended up getting traffic tickets for speeding and attempting to leverage his position as a county commissioner to avoid penalties. The subsequent media coverage of his ridiculous behavior also contributed to his loss in the Republican primary election for his commissioner seat. This defeat, thankfully, marked the end of his his term as a Flagler County Commissioner. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to stay tuned right here for more people that are easy to hate. Number 1. More misguided YouTubers. Johnson LaRose and Charlotte Fisher spent a night hiding inside a Target while videoing content for their YouTube channel. Seriously, it's like anything for views, right? LaRose and Fisher, known as YouTube as Saucy and Honey, chose Target for their social media challenge, which involved hiding inside for 24 hours without getting caught. They titled it their 24-hour overnight challenge in Target and videoed it for their followers. What a creative and exciting YouTube video. The evening began with the two building a fort to hide behind as the store closed. They then waited until the store was empty to roam the aisles, which must have been so exciting to watch. This sounds more like a boring sleepover. However, they didn't even complete the challenge of staying inside the store for the full 24 hours. Instead, they left at around 3 a.m. through an emergency exit, tripping the alarm. Police officers responded to the tripped alarm, but found no one inside the building. In the morning, Target employees watched the footage from the night before and saw LaRose and Fisher wandering the store's aisles for hours with their phones out. So they basically look like every other customer walking around during normal business hours. Despite their intrusion, the pair didn't steal anything while they were inside the store, which meant the police had to do a deep investigation to figure out if they were doing something else criminal while they were there. Although law enforcement determined that the couple wasn't planning on causing anybody harm, they still arrested the pair on third-degree criminal trespassing and conspiracy. The pair were released on bail under the terms that they couldn't visit any Pennsylvania Target stores. The couple didn't seem to have ended up with any jail time, as they quickly made more videos and posted them right after the incident, and also had a baby. Can we be done with these dumb challenges that really have no value for society other than getting views? Like, we're not saying that all entertainment has to be in some way beneficial, but most of this stuff is just annoying people desperately trying to get attention. It's getting a little old. Who are some of the people we'd love to kick out of society? Let's find out, starting with number 6, Thirsty Just for Thirst. Morgan Osmond, an Instagram model and swimwear designer, and most likely narcissist, made headlines for her obnoxious outburst on an American Airlines flight. The incident, caught on camera, showed a side of Osmond that leaves us questioning the direction of society. The viral video showed Osmond in a skin-tight gray unitard screaming at a fellow passenger while retrieving her luggage from the overhead locker. The whole absurd thing was made worse by the fact that she kept saying she was Instagram famous, which she apparently thinks means something, and had a complete disregard for the comfort and peace of mind of other passengers. Osmond's obvious delusions were further exposed when she bragged about the incident in a Christian Louboutin store in Miami. As she giggled about her outburst, it became apparent that she saw herself as some kind of social media sensation that can treat others however she wants. Osmond's childish attitude on the American Airlines flight not only showed her complete lack of social awareness, but also highlighted a troubling aspect of contemporary culture. In a world where social media can amplify the worst behaviors and provide a platform for narcissism and entitlement, people like Osmond gain notoriety for all the wrong reasons. The sad thing is, not only did Osmond refuse to take responsibility for her actions, but she celebrates them. Her lack of awareness sends a troubling message to her followers and fans, suggesting that it's okay to behave like a disrespectful brat if you're wealthy and attractive. In the aftermath of the incident, social media users and viewers of the viral video were quick to condemn Osmond's behavior. Many correctly labeled her as entitled and a clown while expressing their disappointment in her behavior. However, there remains a segment of the online community that still seems enamored with her outrageous behavior. Morgan Osmond's attitude on the American Airlines flight and her subsequent self-promotion through social media is just another example of a disturbing trend. The quest for online fame and notoriety should never come at the expense of common courtesy and respect. Not only does this type of fame breed a bunch of copycats, but it also promotes the silly idea that anything goes as long as it gets views and clicks. In the end, Osmond still lacks any sort of self-awareness about herself himself or the situation. In a post about the incident, Osmond bragged that she was sitting in seat 36F with her diamonds when her outburst occurred. Shouldn't royalty like her be sitting in first class? For those of you who may not know, seat 36F is most of the time in the very back of the plane by the bathroom. You know, where other celebrities often like to sit. Number 5. Love is in the air. Piers Sawyer, a guy from the UK, was all set for an unforgettable birthday bash in Ibiza. Little did he know just how unforgettable it would become, as a clip of him went viral. Piers and his brother Harrison, along with 2 friends, embarked on an EasyJet flight from Luton Airport to Ibiza, but fate had something entirely different in store. As they boarded the plane, Piers laid eyes on a mystery woman in the row ahead. Cupid's arrow struck, and the 2 started chatting like old pals. So far, so good, right? Well, Harrison, the wingman of the century, suggested they swap seats, bringing the lovely lady even closer to Piers. At 33,000 feet in the air, Piers and his classy young lady friend decided to join the infamous Mile High Club. They had known each other for quite a few minutes, so it's not like they were moving a little fast or anything. The airline's cabin crew, to their credit, had eagle eyes and caught the passionate pair in the act by opening the door. The moment became internet gold after a video of the ordeal surfaced online. Piers speaks candidly about his escapade, admitted that thanks to a day-long drinking spree, he was somewhat hazy on the details. In fact, he confessed he couldn't even remember the woman's name. Despite EasyJet showing him the exit door after the incident, Piers didn't seem too broken up about it. He even thought about the possibility of meeting his co-conspirator again. There's no denying that this encounter has certainly left its mark on Pierce's memory, even if it's all a bit of a blur. As for Pierce's mom, Elaine, she took the whole affair in stride, acknowledging that it's not every day you see your son on national television. And while some might raise an eyebrow, she's not convinced they were causing any harm and the cabin crew member shouldn't have opened the door. Yeah, it's easy for her to say that if she didn't need to use the bathroom. Number 4. Florida man strikes again. In a bizarre and admittedly an escapade most 6-year-old boys would want to do, Florida man Jesse Smith went on a joyride that caused over $2 million in damages. Smith's adventure involved a stolen excavator, a Walmart, a machete, and a peculiar confession to the police, which sounds a lot like what a 4-year-old would do. Stealing and driving the excavator, that is, not the machete thing. The events unfolded on a seemingly ordinary Monday night in Gainesville, Florida. Jesse, armed with a machete in true Florida man fashion, because why wouldn't he have a machete? In fact, where's your machete, now that we think about it? Anyway, Jesse decided to take a trip with his machete, but instead of hopping into a car, he opted for a massive yellow Komatsu excavator worth $350,000. Smith's adventure began at a construction site where he somehow managed to hotwire the excavator and drove off with it. It's not every day you hear about someone hotwiring an excavator, but Smith wouldn't be a true Florida man if he didn't. His awesome trip took him down several roads where he collided with buildings, fences, and light poles. Seriously, who doesn't want to do this? At a nearby storage unit center, Smith extended the excavator's boom to inflict additional damage, damaging or destroying 4 buildings owned by the storage company. However, the most astonishing part of Smith's destructive journey was yet to come. He made his way to a Walmart where the situation took an even more absurd turn. Smith plowed the massive excavator into a loading dock wall before crashing it into the south side of the store, causing extensive exterior damage. Then, after ramming the Walmart with a stolen excavator, Smith fled the machine and ran inside the store wielding his machete. He must have been chopping down those high prices. But his brief reign of machete mayhem didn't last long, as he quickly discarded it. When law enforcement arrived at the scene, Smith told the police that he was on, well, let's call it fun stuff. We know you probably just assumed that a Florida man would hotwire an excavator and drive it literally into Walmart completely sober, and we hope you learned a valuable lesson about assuming. Smith was charged with 6 felonies, including first-degree larceny, grand theft causing damage to property estimated over $1,000. Additionally, he faced 4 third-degree felony charges for criminal mischief and a felony charge for armed trespassing, along with a misdemeanor for resisting an officer. But for one brief, shining moment, Jesse Smith lived the dream. Number 3. Over and over again. Former Premier League striker Nile Ranger was sentenced to 8 months in prison after admitting to online banking fraud. The soccer star, who was playing for Southend United at the time of his sentencing, pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to defraud by obtaining bank details and transferring money. The court heard that Ranger had conspired to use the bank details of Diane Bloss in order to move £2,090 from one account to another. Co-conspirator Ashani Duncan from Enfield, London, received the same sentence for the same offense, while Rhiannon Morgan, also of Enfield, avoided prison due to a lack of evidence against him. Ranger's life and career have been marred by controversy and legal issues. In 2007, he spent 11 weeks in a youth offenders institute for his part in an armed robbery while a member of Southampton's youth setup. In 2011, he caused outrage by posing with a gun, and in March 2012, he was fined £6,000 for making, let's just call it, unsavory comments on Twitter. Then, in October 2012, he was convicted of roughing up 2 police officers and given a conditional discharge. Despite these legal troubles, Ranger's career continued, and he played for clubs like Newcastle, Swindon, and Blackpool before joining Southend. However, his suspension by Southend for non-soccer related matters signaled further trouble. In court, Ranger pleaded guilty to conspiracy to defraud, but denied a charge of money laundering. His defense lawyer, Angus Bunyan, pointed out that while Ranger had previous convictions, the only serious one was over a decade ago. Ranger's sentencing came after a series of incidents that have tarnished his image in the soccer world. His releases from prison back in 2017 included a 7 p.m. curfew, preventing him from playing in evening matches. He was also electronically tagged. Nile Ranger has publicly apologized for his past behavior, which is a step in the right direction. Acknowledging his mistakes is a positive move towards personal growth and redemption, but as with any rehabilitation process, actions speak louder than words. Ultimately, Southend United terminated Ranger's contract due to recurring disciplinary issues, further hindering his career. Despite these setbacks, Ranger continued to seek opportunities in soccer, signing with various teams including Spalding United and Boreham Wood. We need to remember that just because someone is good at playing a game doesn't mean we should shower them with money and praise. Crimes shouldn't be so easily forgiven and excused just because he can kick a soccer ball. Number 2. This story isn't real. Tiffany Gomez, the woman who became infamous for her not-real airplane meltdown, is attempting to rebrand her image and regain control of her public narrative. The marketing executive from Texas made headlines when a video of her bizarre behavior on an American Airlines flight went viral. The incident caused a delay for at least 3 hours, and Gomez was issued a warrant for criminal trespassing, although she was neither arrested nor charged. However, Gomez portrayed a completely different image. She posted a selfie on social media looking cozy and casual with a wide smile and long flowing hair. The picture was in stark contrast to the video that made her famous. In the caption, she probably stole from one of those signs your mom likes at TJ Maxx, she wrote, "One moment doesn't define you, but it can define your purpose." This positive and empowered persona seemed to be resonating with some people as the post received thousands of likes and comments. Based on one picture and one post, fans praised her transformation, with one user calling her Woman of the Year 2023 for some reason. Others were amazed at the difference between the crazy plane behavior and the nice-looking woman in the selfie. At least Gomez wasn't shying away from her airplane meltdown. She teased a new website and posted a video where she called herself the Crazy Plane Lady.
Tiffany Gomez, probably better known as the Crazy Plane Lady.
In the video, she hinted at a journey of promoting positive mental health and standing up against cyberbullying. While the details of her upcoming project remained unclear, it was evident that Gomez embraced her newfound recognition and was using it as a platform to inspire and uplift others. In her first interview since the incident, Gomez talked about how her life changed since the video went viral. She acknowledged the fear and uncertainty that came with her newfound notoriety and urged the public not to judge her too quickly. She emphasized that no one knew the full story and that inaccurate information had circulated in the media. It's worth noting that many people have supported Gomez throughout this ordeal, recognizing that she might have been under the influence when the incident occurred. Rather than vilifying her, some viewed her as a relatable figure who took accountability for her actions. Gomez's willingness to address her behavior and attempt to transform herself into an advocate for positive mental health is earning her sympathy and admiration from a growing number of individuals. So at least she's trying. All of these celebrities are a product of us though. So as much as we loathe everyone in this video, aside from Jesse Smith, who was just living his best life, we need to remember it's our own fault. Until we stop propping up terrible people and giving them attention and money, it's only going to get worse. Number 1. Pure evil. In a deeply disturbing incident, a retired California police chief, Andreas Probst, met a tragic end in Las Vegas while enjoying his morning bike ride. A then 17-year-old Jesus Ayala, accompanied by his friend Zamir Keys, intentionally hit Probst with his car. All this happened while Keys was idiotically recording the entire chillingly heartless act. The video, which was widely circulated on social media, showed a callous disregard for human life. As the car approached Probst, who was riding on the side of the road, Ayala and Keys can be heard swearing at other motorists. With chilling nonchalance, Ayala, encouraged by his friend Keys, drove directly into the bike lane behind Probst. He honked the horn and then deliberately collided with Probst's bike, sending him hurtling through the air. As Probst lay motionless on the roadside, Keys continued filming. Ayala then sped away from the scene, leaving Probst critically injured. Tragically, Probst, age 64, succumbed to his injuries at University Medical Center. The shocking video evidence led to the arrest of Ayala, who initially faced hit-and-run charges, but was later charged with murder due to the intent displayed in the video. The cruelty shown by these teenagers is beyond comprehension. To deliberately target a random guy enjoying a bike ride and then video his suffering is a testament to the disturbing mindset of Ayala and Keys. And weirdly enough, Keys' mom had the strange take of saying that her son's side of the story will be told and the truth will come out and not the inaccuracies the media will try to portray. Pretty sure the actual video, which we're not going to show, will be telling the truth here. Cue up the classic "he didn't know nothing" meme. And until we can stop rewarding these idiots who do terrible things for views, terrible stuff like this is going to continue to happen. Click to watch one of these next videos. Let us know in the comment section what you'd rather do. Listen to Cardi B's music for 24 hours non-stop or get tased.